Here on ABC, we highlight the African story. In this video, we learn about the origins, performance, and contributions of the top 10 leading companies of African descent, according to Forbes. Occupying the 10th position on our list is Sasso Limited, one of the 3 companies on this list which is not in the financial sector. Sasso occupies 1,265th position on the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies in the world. Sasso Limited is an integrated energy and chemical company based in Sandton, South Africa. The company was formerly formed as a state-owned company named the South African Coal, Oil and Gas Corporation in 1950 in a town called Sasolburg. Obviously, Sasolburg was named for the company Sasso. Berg informally means town. That being so, Sasolburg translates into Sasso town or city. Sasso currently employs over 31,000 people worldwide. It has operations in a total of 33 countries. In South Africa, however, it is the largest corporate taxpayer. Sasso was birthed out of the need to develop synthetic oil, petrol, and diesel from the then abundant South African coal of low commercial value. The government in the 1920s had identified that South Africa was rich in coal, but across the world comparatively, that coal was of low commercial value. But with the spirit of innovation, the government was looking for a way to extract oil, petrol, and diesel from this low commercial value coal. And that spirit of innovation and initiative from the then South African government is what led to the formation of the then state-owned company South African Coal, Oil and Gas Corporation. At present, Sasso has exploration, development, production, marketing and sales operations all across the world. In South Africa and the rest of Africa as well, the Americas, both North and South, Europe, Middle East, and the Australasia. Sasso has been granted final approval by the US government to build a whopping $11 billion ethane cracker in Louisiana. According to the state of Louisiana, it is the largest foreign direct investment in the history of the state of Louisiana. And that is good news for all Africans around the world, because this time round, Africa is rather investing in other continents, and that is something we can all be proud of as Africans. Established at the dawn of South African democracy in 1994, MTN, formerly MCell, is ninth on our list. And on the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies, MTN comes in at 1,185. As at 30th of June 2016, MTN had recorded as many as 232.6 million subscribers, making it the 8th largest mobile network operator in the world, and here in Africa, the largest. It is active in over 23 countries. 1/3 of the company's revenue is from Nigeria alone, where it holds about 35% of the market share. MTN Group is the primary sponsor of the South African National Rugby Union team and sponsors the English football club Manchester United. I guess this might be a partial sponsorship since we don't see their name on the Manchester United shirt. In 2014, MTN was named as the most admired and the most valuable brand in Africa. In 2015, they went on to retain that same award and position on that same global brand rankings. However, in May 2008, Bharti Airtel, an Indian-based telecommunications company, explored the possibility of buying the MTN group. Reliance Communications was also in talks with MTN for a potential combination of their businesses. In July that same year, however, the talks broke down. For us as Africans, well, whether it makes economic sense or not, we would like to have MTN remain a pure African company, something we can be proud of as Africans. So we are happy that Airtel was unable to acquire MTN. But that being the case, Airtel itself is operational in many countries in Africa. Here in Ghana, Airtel is available, and some few months back, if not few years, they combined their businesses with Tigo of Ghana, and we now have Airtel Tigo instead of a standalone Airtel company. To continue, on October 30th, 2020, MTN made public the sale of their shares in the e-commerce brand Jumia. The sale was worth as much as $142.3 million. Jumia is an e-commerce site that most people, perhaps in Africa and in Ghana, are familiar with. Now, if you didn't know, now you know. It was only last month that MTN sold their share in Jumia. MTN did owe a part of Jumia. Now, one important last note about MTN is that they entered into an agreement with the National Communications Authority of Ghana to make public some part of the company. So they had to float some shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange and make the public in Ghana own some part of the business. This was done so that MTN could acquire the license to operate 4G mobile services to its customers in Ghana. Now, as many as 4.6 billion ordinary shares were sold, and for the first time in the history of the world, mobile money was used to purchase some shares if you had that means. So MTN and Ghana happens to be the first country and company to sell their shares using mobile money. That's a plus for Ghanaians, a plus for MTN, and a plus for Africa.
Attijari Wafa Bank, croire en vous.
Occupying the 8th position on our list is Atiwa Haifa Bank, and it occupies 1,138th position on the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies in the world. Out of the 10 companies on this list, all of them hail from South Africa except for Atiwa Haifa Bank, which is found in Morocco. Atiwa Haifa Bank Group supports nearly 10 million individuals, professionals, corporate and institutional clients, and mobilizes as many as over 20,000 employees in 25 countries spread across the continents of Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Atiwa Haifa Bank is Moroccan and a multinational commercial bank and a finances services company found and based in Rabat, Morocco. It is the leading bank in the country Morocco and is only a part of King Mohammed VI's holding company, the SNI, which stands for Société Nationale d'Investissement, which I guess is French for National Investment Company or Almada. and the Almada or the holding company, of which Atiwa Haifa Bank is one of the companies they own, is owned by the Moroccan royal family, just as we have royal families in Great Britain and other countries. It was established after a merger between Banque Commerciale du Maroc and Wafer Bank and is headquartered in Casablanca. It is the fourth largest in Africa as of 2016. The bank maintains offices in Paris, Brussels, Madrid, Barcelona, Milan, Shanghai, the Netherlands, Tunisia, Senegal, Ghana, Mauritania, and Mali. It is listed on the Casablanca Stock Exchange since 1993. Atiwa Haifa Bank is also a relic from the old century. It was founded as far back as 1911.
Nedbank.
From one bank to another bank. Occupying the 7th position is Nedbank, and it holds the 911th position on the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies in the world. Nedbank has an interesting story for me because I consider it an Africanization of a foreign bank, and that is when here in Africa we are able to successfully domesticate a bank or a company which was first founded in Europe or somewhere else in the world, making something good our own. The bank was founded in 1888 in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. At the time, it was called the Dutch Bank and the Credit Union for South Africa. I guess the intent for establishing the bank was clear: to create or to provide credit facilities and financial services for the business of, for lack of a better word, exploiting exploring the raw materials in Africa. In the same year, the bank opened an office in Church Street, Pretoria, South Africa. In 1903, the company was renamed the Dutch Bank for South Africa, doing away with the credit union part of the name. In 2014, however, Nedbank acquired an associate stake of 20% in EcoBank. Once again, EcoBank is that bank with that blue, if you want, brand all over, very common and visible all across Africa. I think we call it the Pan-African Bank. The Nedbank EcoBank Alliance is the largest banking network in Africa. Why is that so? That is so because they have more than 20,000 branches in as many as 39 out of the 54 countries in Africa. That's huge. Nedbank is headquartered in Johannesburg. Their market capitalization is 125 billion South African rand, which approximates to about $9.1 billion as of June 2018. Occupying the 6th position is Sanlam, which is also a financial institution and is situated in South Africa as well. On the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies, it occupies the 890th position. Sanlam, like I've said, is a South African financial services group headquartered in the Western Cape of South Africa. It is the largest insurance company in Africa. It is listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the Namibian Stock Exchange, and the A2X. The A2X is a competitor to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, just as we have Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange in the United States. Established in 1918 as a life insurance company, Sanlam has now developed into a diversified financial services business. The group operates in South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Swaziland, Zimbabwe, Mauritius, Malawi, Zambia, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Mozambique, India, Malaysia, and the UK. And it has business interests in the US, Australia, and Burundi, Lesotho, and Philippines as well. So they own a part of a UK insurance company that serves as many as 10 million clients across the world. In 2018, Sanlam acquired Saham Finances, which has made Sanlam Africa's biggest non-banking financial services player and has given it exposure to, in addition to the countries we have already mentioned, Morocco, Angola, Algeria, Tunisia, Niger, Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin, Cameroon, Gabon, Republic of Congo, Madagascar, Lebanon, and Saudi Arabia. If none of that was interesting to you as a black African or as a black person, listen to this. I think this is an interesting one. In 2018, the group announced details of its 11 billion South African Rand BEE, which stands for Black Economic Empowerment. Black Economic Empowerment is an integration program which was launched by the South African government to reconcile South Africans. That is their first aim, and second and most important to me, to redress the inequalities of apartheid. This deal, which will increase its direct black shareholding to 18%. So 18% of Sanlam is going to be owned by blacks, and it will contribute to the advancement of black economic ownership to about 35%. Just as a footnote, there was a research conducted in the United States, released only last month in October or so, which concluded that if blacks were given the same economic opportunities in America from the turn of the century up until now, it would have added as much as 14 trillion to the GDP of the United States. And I think that the South African government is right to advance this policy of black economic empowerment, and we can congratulate Sanlam for owning as much as 35% of black economic empowerment. Kudos to them. So number 5 is Old Mutual, and Old Mutual occupies the 864th position on the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies in the world. Old Mutual is South African as well, and they are a diversified financials company as well. Old Mutual is a Pan-African investment, savings, insurance, and banking group that's listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. In addition to that, it is listed on the Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Botswana stock exchanges as well. The company was founded in 1845 as a mutual insurance company by John Fairbairn, together with several other prominent Cape Town figures, such as the liberal politician Saul Solomon, and he deserves a special mention because of its refreshing ideas, even in those times too. If you want to establish equity for people of all races, blacks, white, wherever you come from, and such is why Sasso Limited deserves a special mention. The original name was the Mutual Life Assurance Society of the Cape of Good Hope, which was changed later to the South Africa Mutual Life Assurance Society in 1885. Old Mutual acquired a major shareholding in the newly formed Mutual and Federal in 1970, acquiring the remaining shares only as far back as 11 years ago in 2009. Mutual and Federal was then renamed to Old Mutual Insure on 5th June 2017 and is now a part of Old Mutual Emerging Markets business. Now, Old Mutual is a familiar name because we only mentioned that they own 53% stake in Nedbank, which is on our list, occupying the 7th position. Absa Group Limited (ABGL), formerly Barclays Africa Group Limited, and originally Amalgamated Banks of South Africa, is a South African-based financial services offering personal and business banking, credit cards, corporate and investment banking, wealth and investment management, as well as bank assurances. ABGL is a major shareholder of 11 banks located in Botswana, Ghana, Kenya, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, 2 titles there in Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia. The group maintains representative offices in Namibia and Nigeria as well. It also has an international office in London, which opened in September 2018. In 2019, Absa Group opened another international office in New York City. Absa was founded in 1991 through a merger of financial service providers United Bank of South Africa, the Allied Bank of South Africa, the Volkswagen Bank Group, and certain interests of the Sage Group. In May 2005, Barclays Bank of the United Kingdom purchased 56.4% stake in Absa. In early 2007, the Barclays Bank acquisition of Absa was criticized by the then governor of the South African Reserve Bank, Tito Mboweni, who said, quote, he had yet to see benefits of the Barclays management of the bank, unquote. In 2017, the South African Public Protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, found that the bailout of 1.125 billion that Absa's predecessor Bancorp Group had received between 1985 and 1992 from the Reserve Bank was illegal, and recommended that Absa be forced to pay back 2.25 billion South African rand, which happens to be the current equivalent of the amount. In March 2008, Barclays Africa announced the group's name would revert back to Absa Group Limited, effective May 30th, 2018. The company underwent rebranding in 2018, inclusive of its logo and slogans. Here in Ghana, there was an extensive advertisement campaign to let us know that Barclays was changing to Absa. Third on our list is Naspers. On the Forbes list of the top 2,000 companies in the world, it comes in at 563rd position. Naspers is yet another South African company, but unlike the others we treated previously, Naspers is Naspers is an internet company. Interestingly, Naspers is known for being established as far back as 1915, and that begs the question, how can a company found in 1915 be an internet company when the internet wasn't invented until the early 1990s? Naspers you might not have heard of, but you might have heard of brands like MultiChoice, DSTV, Tencent, OLS, and on and on. And Naspers has a hand in all these companies. So let's delve into Naspers and see what they are made of. There is a lot to unpack. Naspers Limited is an international, multinational consumer internet company headquartered in South Africa. Its principal operations include classified advertisement, fintech, payments, and food delivery. Naspers owns or has controlling interest in the various businesses, including Process, and we will talk about Process later on, Media24, and Takealot. In 2001, Naspers made an early successful investment in the Chinese giant Tencent to a tune of $32 million. As of 2018, Naspers had approximately a 31% stake in Tencent, becoming its largest stakeholder and Africa's biggest public company. That's huge. It was founded in 1915 as a publisher and a printer of newspapers and magazines. So now we understand why. At the time, a group of prominent Afrikaners decided in December of 1914 at one meeting they had at Stellenbosch to form a publishing company that will support the Afrikaner nationalism in the wake of the Boer Wars. So it was formed to promote political intent at the time. And then 4 years on, in 1918, the company decided to add a book publishing to its portfolio. Of course, after the war, they needed to find a way to survive and be sustainable. At the time, it became one of Africa's most significant media hubs. And then fast forward to 1985, the company at the time launched the first pay TV system, evolving from a publisher company to a full-blown media company. Documents collected by the non-profit Open Secrets revealed how Naspers founded the National Party during apartheid, and the NP also held about 74,000 shares in Naspers in 1984. Of course, it was founded in the early days to support Afrikaner nationalism, and unfortunately in the around 1984 it was still in the business of politics, this time around on the wrong side, supporting and intermingling with apartheid, and that is something I guess is unfortunate. But that aside, Naspers has purchased a 46.5% of the Chinese internet company Tencent, and Tencent in turn owns WeChat, which is basically the WhatsApp of China. That aside, it also has hands in an array of fintech apps, financial technology apps, and mobile games from their early investment days. Apps including PC, CW, and IDG Capital, which is a startup then started in 2001. The investment paid off for Naspers in a very dramatic fashion, which boosted Naspers' stock price over time and made it one of the most valuable publicly traded businesses in Africa by 2017. In 2014, Naspers acquired a 95% stake of OLS. If you are in Ghana and perhaps many African states, you know what OLS is. It functions just like Amazon or Alibaba or eBay, just for our segment or sector of the world, which is a global online. OLS is a global online marketplace. It was included in the Process spin-off in 2019. In May 2017, former Naspers subsidiary DSTV admitted to price fixing and contravening the Competition Act. Who knew DSTV is owned by Naspers? It agreed to pay at the time 22 million rand in penalty fees, as well as 8 million rand to the Economic Development Funds. That's so much to unpack for Naspers, but I guess it was worth your time. Number 2 on the list is Standard Bank, which occupies 544 out of the world's 2000 topmost companies. And as the name implies, Standard Bank is into the banking industry, so back into banks. Standard Bank of South Africa Limited is a South African financial services group and is the largest lender by assets. The company's corporate headquarters, Standard Bank Center, is situated in Simon Street, Johannesburg. The bank, now known as Standard Bank, was formed in 1862 as a South African subsidiary of the British overseas bank Standard Bank, under the name the Standard Bank of South Africa. The bank started operations in 1863 in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. That makes it, among the companies on this list, the oldest institution out of the top 10 in Africa. Soon after opening, it merged with several other banks, including Commercial Bank of Port Elizabeth, Colesberg Bank, the British Crofterian Bank, and Forest Smith Bank. It was prominent in financing and development of the diamond fields of Kimberley in 1867. We understand the principle: the money chases the African resources. Now, to emphasize that point, when gold was discovered on the Witwatersrand, the bank expanded northwards, again chasing the resources and financing the expedition of exploration of resources on the continent. And on the 11th of October 1886, the bank started doing business in a tent at the then Ferraris camp, which was later renamed Johannesburg, as we know, thus becoming the first bank to open a branch on the Witwatersrand gold fields. On November 1st, 1901, a second branch was opened in Elof Street of Joburg. Fast forward until 1962, the bank was formerly known as the Standard Bank of South Africa, although by then its operations had spread across the entire continent of Africa. Then 5 years on, in 1967, shares in the Standard Bank of South Africa were offered to the South African public, although the British parent company retained over 80% of the shares. That's huge. In March 2019, the Standard Bank became the first bank in Africa to shift its operations onto Amazon Web Services. And then in March 2019, once again, the bank announced the reduction of its branches by 91 outlets and staff by 1,200. The decision was taken due to a growing use of self-service channels and a branch network becoming less relevant. Of course, we can bank on our phones, so that's what they mean. In September 2009, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Macau, the Bank of China, the China Development Bank, the China CITIC Bank initiated a 1 billion club loan to the Standard Bank. Once again, in 2007, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China acquired a stake of about 20% in the Standard Bank for a $5 billion offering. Finally, the best performer on our list is First Rand of South Africa, and it comes in at the 536th position. I guess the continent has to work hard to push at least our top earner on the continent to the first 10 on the top 2,000 companies in the world. Over 500 is worse than we deserve. We need to do better. Now, the company is First Rand, which is, I guess, named for, coincidentally though, its first position on the continent and then the national currency of its host nation, Rand. So first on the continent, Rand, the currency for South Africa. The Global Brands Magazine Award, which named MTN, if you can remember, as the most valuable brand on the continent, has also awarded First Rand in 2016 the best banking performer. Let's get to know First Rand a little bit. We will bring this video to a close. First Rand Limited, also referred to as the First Rand Group, is the holding company of the First Rand Bank and a financial services provider in South Africa. In addition to SA, the bank operates in 8 key African countries, namely Botswana, Namibia, Swaziland, Lesotho, Zambia, Mozambique, Tanzania, Ghana, and Nigeria. But beyond the shores of Africa, First Rand Bank has branches in London, Guernsey, and India as well. The group has its headquarters in Joburg, SA. The First Rand is one of the 5 largest banking groups in South Africa and on the sub-Saharan Africa region as well. First Rand traces their history back to the 1970s as an investment bank. The group, as we currently know it, was established or incorporated on April 1st, 1998 through a merger of the financial services interests of Anglo-American Corporation of South Africa Limited, now Anglo-American PLC, and RMB Holdings. And they did this in order, if you want, to consolidate their position in the financial services sector. In November 2012, the Central Bank of Nigeria issued the first merchant banking licenses in more than a decade to RMB Nigeria and another local firm. That's that for this video. Thank you for sticking and staying. This might not be the best that you were expecting, but we intend to work hard to bring you the best content as regards business concerns in Africa, and most importantly, how we could learn about how well our businesses are doing comparable to similar organizations on other continents, and how we can elevate the performance of our corporations just so we can improve upon our standard of living as Africans, which we all know and agree that we deserve better than we are currently being offered. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section under this video. If you have any suggestions, they are welcome as well. If you have seen the video up until this point, we know you are very much interested in our content, and you should subscribe and share it with your friends, especially those in the diaspora, those who have interest in business, and help us grow together. We want to grow with you, and we hope you will grow with us. Thank you for sticking. Thank you for staying. See you in the next one. This has been ABC